Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today we're going to be looking at a station modified to go in the corner of the Lego room and a biplane flying low overhead. So let's start by looking at the train station element. I'm going to remove the awning just to make it easier to see. Now obviously this train station is based on set 60050, released in 2014. It retailed for £50 or $65 and had 423 pieces. It also came with a cool taxi, which we'll see in a future video. Now the problem with my city, and many cities like it, is that the railway track gets in the way of a lot of things, and indeed the straight edges of the railway track are at a premium for building usual shaped buildings on, whereas the corners are quite difficult to utilise well. So the thought behind this station modification was using one of those corners as productively as possible. And to do this, we had to put the building on a 45-degree angle. This also has the added benefit of being a bit different because virtually all Lego buildings are either facing left to right or front to back and are all at 90 degrees to each other, which some cities are built on a grid network, but many aren't, and it looks a bit, well, boring really, I suppose, and it looks a lot more interesting when you've got some buildings at an angle. So if we just took the original station, which was 50 studs wide, very long, and tried to fit that in the corner, we'd be pushing the track way back into the room in order to accommodate it. So we had to make two changes. First of all, we reduced the overall width. First of all, by taking all the sides where the stanchions were, which weren't really adding anything, and secondly by taking out a little more bricks in this area here. This reduced the original 50 wide, which also had steps on the side, taking it even more, to 34 wide. Secondly, wedge plates have been used, both in the floor and in the ceiling, in order to give a 45-degree angle. This increases the ability of this to fit more tightly into a corner, as we'll see when we put it in the Lego room later. Now this has meant that we've had to do some quite serious adjustments. You can see both the store and the food outlet have been compromised in their space, so we've had to move some of the contents in a bit, but largely speaking it hasn't really affected their efficacy. It's also worth noting on the back here that I've used Technic pieces just because these won't be visible, and I've got them to spare, whereas the black bricks that would have been used here if it was visible would be much better put to use elsewhere. So another change is that this station will not be the main station in my city. I want to make a very big station for the main station, but in order for the track not to just look like a loop that goes from a single station back to a single station, which does look a bit odd, we kind of need a second one, which you can either look at as at a suburban station or maybe a second terminus for a big city. So as such, I didn't want to use the city station sign on this station. I want to keep that for the main one. So I used another 1x8 white brick with a name on it, and this one says Gringotts. So that can be the name of this station. Now obviously that's from a Harry Potter set. It's from 4714 to be precise. And although that might shout out a bank to some people, because Gringotts was a bank in Harry Potter, to me it's just going to be the name of this suburban or second terminus station. I've also decorated it with a few minifigures. Got the ticket machine as well. Got a man with a handcart. It's worth noting that these suitcase pieces do slot quite well into the handcart, enabling them to be moved around and not fall over everywhere every time you move the model. Let's put the awning back on and then have a look at the biplane. There's actually an additional bit of strengthening here. One thing that's also worth mentioning actually, when doing something at an angle like this, especially with the different shapes of trains and the carriages that they pull, that you have to be very careful with the spacing from the platform edge to the track edge and make sure that your train will go round without hitting it. And that's especially difficult with things like the fast passenger train 60051, because it's got a very long nose. That's the white passenger train. Now the biplane. This is from set 7307, Flying Mummy Attack from the Pharaoh's Quest line in 2011. It retailed for £15 or $20 and had 125 pieces. I picked this up second-hand on eBay for only a few pounds. It was very cheap indeed. But I just love it. I love the dark red colour of it. I love these curved wings on the biplane. Some really realistic machine guns and the RAF insignia. It's also got a couple of stickers with Spirit of Louis and a decorated tail. The minifigure included is also quite good. Oh yeah, with his flying jacket with insignia on the back. Jake Rains, he's called. Pop him back in. Careful to put his hand on the flying stick so he's actually flying it. Now this plane came with a strange hook device, which is part of the play feature on the bottom, which was to hook a gem that they were stealing from the, well, flying mummies, I guess. I've taken it off because it looked a bit odd when we're just using this normally. Now I want to mount this flying above my city, and I'm not going to use cotton or fishing line to dangle it from the ceiling because I want it flying quite low to the city. So what I'm going to do is mount it from the ground up rather from the ceiling down. And to do that, I'm going to use transparent bricks. Now I find the best ones to use are these 1x2x5 bricks. And if you put two together, then two the other way, then two the other way, and then top them with something, in this case a 2x2 jumper plate in a colour that's the same as the one on the bottom, then it's quite sturdy. Then you can attach the bottom to a tall building and the top to the underside of the plane. And to find the best place to attach it, you need to try and find the centre of gravity of the plane so it won't topple off. And that appears to be about there. So I'd attach it like that. I know you can't see it, but it's not fallen off, so that's good. Let's attach that to the station, and then let's take the station up to the Lego room. So here's our second railway terminus in its position in the Lego room, complete with biplane flying overhead. Don't worry that it's flying towards a wall. In my city, the city continues on beyond the walls, so it'll just be flying in that direction safely. I suppose while we're here we better prove that it doesn't hit the train going by. It fits. I wonder if the pilot, Jake, has noticed a huge flying saucer above him. I'm really happy with how it fits in so tightly. You can almost imagine the building continuing into the walls if those were square corners on the back. Bosh. Well, thanks very much for watching. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome videos. Next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be adding our second modular to this street, to the left of the frame. See you then!